Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, hopping into Garp Challenge Heavenly Demon 1, and we're doing a bit of a guide video for you guys, and this is going to start up a bit of a roll-on for these particular guides, moving through all of the strength, dex, quick, psi, and int variations across all of the 10-star Garp challenges. So in today's video, I have 4 different teams for you guys to be taking down this event, so hopefully you guys can start building up those gems every single month, as you do actually get quite a lot of gems from these Garp challenges, as well as a lot of limit break rewards. So hopefully you guys have some teams built, and for those guys that already do have some teams built, throughout the uploads, I will be including speed teams, like very, very fast teams for all the colors. So keep an eye out for that if you guys already have beaten these events. But I do appreciate you boys, you guys stopping by and supporting your boy. And if you have stopped by to support, make sure to go down there and smash the like button for me. And if you're new, hit the big red subscribe button too. But let's have a look at the teams quickly. The first team I have is a double Kaido team. This team works very, very well. It's built around sort of driven, but obviously, as I mentioned, you can chop and change units throughout this throughout these teams. So we do have the Verse Kaido unit as our legend. His versatility just makes things very, very easy. We do have Stampede Buggy, very, very good at removing despair. Paralysis. Paralysis and despair are the 2 big things you want to get around when it comes to Dofi 1. So utilizing Stampede Buggy with the support of Dofi is very, very great. It's very, very good, as he gives a full border orb rotation as well as our captain is driven. Don Krieg and Jin are on this team. They're very, very good for the Rebecca stage. They actually just remove all of the nasty debuffs, which is great. We then have Pedro on this team. He's another unit that can remove despair. He's the free-to-play unit from the Whole Cake Island event. Hopefully you guys picked him up. We are using the support of Kaido here to get a 1.5 times attack boost to our strength units as well. And then finally we have Tank Man, one of the Blitz Battle event units. You can replace this guy with anyone that does despair removal for 4 turns. I just bought him because he's also an attack booster as well. So yeah, I think off the top of my head, well, not off the top of my head, you could use any like of these units here that would work very, very well. Someone like Dogstorm would be great, the free-to-play one, or even utilizing someone like this Law would be very, very handy as well. But moving on to the next team, we have the Sweet 3. Now, Sweet 3 actually did it very, very well. Their super typing giving cooldowns helps out quite a lot, and it does quite a bit of damage, which is very good for fodder stages. So they're quite a good leader, and in their leader kit, they actually remove despair, which is very, very handy. So you don't have to worry about bringing anyone to remove despair, or if you are struggling with despair, just bring a friend captain, as these guys can actually just clear it very, very easily. We do have the Whole Cake Island Chopper. He removes 3 turns of paralysis, which is great, and gives an attack boost as well. We then have Hercules, and on this team, he's another paralysis remover. He does give us an orb buff, as we do have 6 strength units on this team. So he's going to give us an orb buff for 2 turns as well. Then we have the World Cruise Whitebeard that came out with Roger. He's very, very good, as he's going to remove defense up and give us 3 turns of attack buff, which is excellent for the Rebecca stage. And then we've got the free-to-play Oven on this team as well. He is going to be our super type trigger, as well as being an orb booster for this particular team. He can also use the Akano support, as he does damage as well. So this team functioned very, very well. And if you do have sweet channels, I would recommend using them, or bringing a friend with any of these other teams will work absolutely fine. Next, we've got Oden. Now, Oden was a little bit different. Utilizing 2 Odens was quite tricky, so I did bring a friend Bullet. Just trying to get matching ores with Oden is actually quite hard, running double Oden. Especially for this content anyway. But for this particular team, I wanted to show off this Usopp. Now, this One Piece Stampede Usopp is great, because he can delay up to 6 turns depending on how many enemies there are. So when you come up against the Dressrosa stage, this guy is an absolute weapon. He can also use the Akano support, as he does a 7% HP cut as well, which is great. The main reason you want to use that is just for the matching orbs. We then have Oden as our captain. You guys know how great Oden is. He's very, very strong. Obviously, giving a 2.5 times orb boost, as well as being like a massive, with 1 orbs, like 5 point something captain. The thing about this team is trying to get 1 orbs is a bit tricky, but utilizing the Victoria Prong helps out a little bit. We do have the free-to-play Dogstorm on this team. He can remove despair by 5 turns and is an attack booster. He can also use the support of Raizo. Raizo's going to remove paralysis by 2 turns. And another thing about this Usopp is he actually has a crewmate ability to remove paralysis by 1 turn as well. So with Raizo and with Usopp, you can easily remove the paralysis, the first turn of paralysis. Next, we've got Okiku. Okiku can remove paralysis as well. She can also use the Conjurer support, which means that way that we can remove despair by 2 turns. And then with the support of Pedro on Carrot, we can actually remove another 2 turns of despair. And that's how we get around the despair for the first time it pops up. We also have Kazuna Carrot on this team. She's an attack booster as our captain in strength. She completely removes defense up, and she gives us a 0.65 boost to the chain multiplier. So she's very, very good for the Rebecca stage and on the final stage, getting our cooldowns back thanks to this Usopp. The final team we're going to talk about is the double Snake Man team. Now, Snake Man still claps content. He's still one of the best strength super types in the game. I would probably argue that he is the best strength super type in the game. Just having an attack and orb boost in your kit is very, very good. I did try to keep this very Straw Hat orientated. I did chuck limited rare recruit Bonnie on this team. She's very, very good as she's only on a 5-turn cooldown and she can easily get her cooldowns back to remove paralysis. That's the big reason why she's here. I wanted to show off for you guys that are looking for more speedier teams as well. We do have Rare Recruit Law, the one that came out with Snake Man. He's great to remove to Despair, as well as utilizing the Akano support to get orbs and an attack boost. We have the support of Rayleigh to remove Despair the first time it comes around on Luffy. And then we have Whitebeard on our Marco and Ace, so that way we can completely remove the Despair the first time it comes around, and we still don't have to worry about using Corazon or someone on Law. Marco and Ace, another fantastic unit. With their switchability, they can remove unfavorable slots, like quick slots, into Strength, which is great for Luffy. And there are 2.75 times orb boost, attack boost to Strength, which is very, very strong. Next, we've got Usohachi. He's our defense up remover. He can also use the support of Sublimask for a 1.3 times attack boost, which is very, very handy. But with this particular team and all the supports, there's just so much going on. It does it very, very well and very, very easily. Obviously, with these teams, you can run the content in another way. And the supports are obviously not overly necessary, but it does make things a lot easier. The utility supports obviously are necessary, but hopefully you guys can just sort of chop and change between these teams, put something together. But the easiest way to get around Dofi, one, is to bring the Sweet 3 as a friend captain. Then you just don't have to worry about Despair whatsoever. But that's enough about the teams. Let's hop up into the runs. Alright, so for the first team against Dofi 1, we're going to be using the Kaido team. Now, we're going to start with like the newest units at the beginning and make our way towards the older units, I guess. Now, each of these teams I have tried to put together all different subs for you guys, just so that you guys can get an idea of how to get around the debuffs that are inflicted on this particular piece of content by utilizing many different units. Now, the big things you want to get around are Despair and Paralysis. So once we hit stage 2, we see our first lot of Despair. And for this particular team, we're going to be using the Pedro, the free-to-play Pedro that we got from the Whole Cake Island event. He can remove 4 turns of Despair as well as doing damage, which means we can actually utilize the Akano support. That way we get a 1.5 times attack boost, a full board of orbs, and that way we can easily take her out in one turn. If you don't have the Akano support, you could easily just pop a Kaido special there, take her out that way, and then move on to this next stage against Rebecca. Against Rebecca, this is where we get our first lot of Paralysis. She also puts up defense up, so Don Krieg and Jin is actually just built for this. They also give us an orb buff as well. Unfortunately for me, though, I did get very unlucky with my orbs. I only got 1 matching orb, so we didn't do that much damage to Rebecca. But on the second turn, she does put up a nullified damage against all colors except for red. Lucky for us, this is our red run. So that way we can actually just take her out nice and easily on that second turn. Moving on to the next stage, we come up against the Dressrosa units. All of these guys can look a little bit intimidating, but this is where you do want to use a Kaido special. And this is where you do want to start farming up some T&D orbs, as once we do get that versatility active, it's basically just going to be GG from there. So make sure you take out all of the units that have the lowest cooldowns. As you can see with Kaido, it's very easy to kill most of them. You do want to try and just kill King Punch, keep King Punch alive in the back, and that way you can just stall those 4 turns, get those T&D orbs, and start building up that verse meter. Kaido's 20% end of turn HP cut actually makes this stage a little bit easier, but also makes it a little bit hard to stall on, as each enemy has a debuff they do under 50%. So you do want to kill them before that actually happens. As you can see though, just from this particular stage, I get lots of meat orbs, lots of T&D orbs, and with the Victoria Punk, the T&D orbs just keep rolling in. And now we can actually activate our versatility of Kaido. On this stage against Barto, we can use our Luffy special. Luffy's going to remove the Despair. Hopefully I'll let you guys know about some subs for that unit. He's an event unit, so I do understand most people probably don't have him. But there are a lot of other units in the game that can remove Despair that he can be replaced with. He's just very, very nice because he can give us an attack boost as well. On to the next stage, we come up against Treble. So against Treble, he's going to paralyze us. So we're going to use our Buggy special to remove the paralysis, as well as give us a full board of orbs. We still do have the carryover effect of that versatility. So with the Dofi support, we can get a lot of damage, utilize that versatility, and just wipe out that particular stage. On to the final stage against Dofi now. We're going to use our other Verse Kaido ability. We do have our Pedro special back, so we can get a matching orb on him and do a little bit of damage there. But with the verse ability, it can basically wipe out all of the enemies around the outside. But it doesn't kill those two cannoneers on the left and the right. So you do want to try and put a pot shot into one of those, and then you can just let the versatility do the rest of the damage. So that was versus Kaido. He basically, like a hot knife through butter with that one. Does it very, very well. On to the next team, we are utilizing a double Sweet 3 team. Now the Sweet 3 actually did it fairly well. They're super typing, giving us cooldown, as well as doing AoE damage. It's actually very, very good for the 10-star Garp challenges, as it makes things very, very easy to get specials back, as well as doing damage to like mini mob enemies. On stage 2, when we normally get Despaired, that won't matter to us, as they do have built-in Despair. So for Dofi 1, they are just very, very good. With this particular team, we are using Oven, so we can use the Oven special to give us a full border orbs, an orb boost, and with the Akainu support, we can also get a 1.5 times attack boost to our strength units. That way we can just blitz our way through the vacuum cleaner chick very, very easily, and move on to Rebecca. Rebecca has the paralysis, as well as a 3-turn defense up. So with Whitebeard special, we can remove the defense up and get a 3 turns of 1.75 times attack boost. And then with Herculean, we can remove the paralysis, as well as get an orb boost for 2 turns. Now, because the dress roaster units don't actually have any interrupt, we can carry both of those buffs into this stage, and makes it very, very easy to take out a couple of these units on the very first turn that have quite low cooldowns. Now, I did get quite unlucky, and 4 of the units had a 1-turn cooldown, which meant that I had to try and kill as many as possible. But hopefully you guys will get a better roll than that. But as you can see, we can tank a shot from at least 2 of them, and then take out pretty much all of them after that. That 1.75 times attack boost from Whitebeard is actually pretty handy, as long as you are killing things every single turn, the Sweet Generals will give you a 5 times flat rate multiplier for your strength units. Once again, we're going to store the 4 turns on Elisabello. That way we can get some healing back. We are running the Liberal Hind, so that means we can get an extra healing, 1,000 healing per turn. And then we can move on to the next turn against Bardo. Bardo's going to give us Despair again, but obviously Sweet Generals being very, very good for Dofi 1, as they can actually just remove Despair with their Captain ability. We're going to use one of their specials now, that way we can get a massive chain buff, as well as an attack and color affinity buff. And as you can see, because Bardo has that barrier, just hitting with that last unit with that extra 1.1 times chain multiplier, it works very, very well. On to the next stage, we come up against Treble. Now, Treble gives us 3 turns of paralysis. So this is where we're going to use the special of the Whole Cake Island Chopper to remove the paralysis, give us an attack boost. And with the super typing of with our Sweet 3, we can easily just blow away all the units in the back. Excuse me. So on the final stage against Dofi and his lackeys, we can use our super typing of our other Sweet 3. That's going to kill those 2 cannoneers in the back that I was talking about in the previous video. They're very, very annoying, as they do actually quite a bit of damage, and they're actually quite hard to get through, as they have a lot of defense. So utilizing the super typing of the Sweet 3 and then just popping all of our specials that we have active gives us an orb boost, color affinity, attack boost, you name it, we got it. And that was the Sweet 3 team. Worked very, very well. So on to the next team now. We are utilizing Oden, and we are using a friend Bullet. Now, this team is a lot slower than the other 2 teams, but I did want to show off this Usopp as a very, very good way of getting around the Dressrosa stage. But the problem with running double Oden was it was actually quite difficult to get orbs. So I did want to bring either V3 Akainu or Bullet. That way they just have built-in matching orbs. But as you'll see when we got to this stage against the Vacuum Cleaner chick, we did have some support on our Kiku and our Carrot, the free-to-play Pedro and the Rare Recruit Contra to remove the Despair. And then we just used our Bullet special to just blow through that stage. On this particular stage against Rebecca, we do have the support of Raizo to remove 2 turns of paralysis on our Dogstorm. And with this Usopp, the Stampede event Usopp, we can actually remove 1 turn of paralysis every single turn, as he has it built into his Sailor ability. With that, utilizing Bullet's super effective against all types, we can just take her out very easily. On the Dressrosa stage, this is where we will be seeing the special of Usopp. Usopp delays all enemies by the number of enemies available. So because there are 6 enemies, he gives 6 turns of delay, which makes this turn very, very easy. And it means we can actually store back for our specials, which means if we popped any specials earlier in the fight, we are definitely going to be getting them back for the back end of the fight. And with the Akainu support, we can easily just blitz through like majority of them. But if you don't have the Akainu support, it's fine. You have lots and lots of turns to take out this stage. Utilize all your turns of stalling for healing, as well as getting specials back. Because we've been popping Bullet, we were popping Carrot earlier on. It's very, very easy for us to get our specials back. Make sure to kill King Punch still, though. He still will do that big, like, death punch hit after 4 turns. So very important you do kill him first. On to the next stage, we come up against Barto. Now, Barto has Despair once again, which is very, very annoying. But what we're going to do on this particular stage, we're going to be using our Dog Storm special. Dog Storm's going to give us a 2x attack boost to our strength units. And he's going to be removing Despair. Very, very good free-to-play unit. And if you are struggling with this, I would definitely farm him up. On to the next stage against Treble and his lackeys. We get 2 turns of paralysis from Treble. But with the special of Okiku, we can remove 2 turns. And obviously with Usopp, we can remove the other turn. We are going to use the bullet special on this particular stage. That way we can easily just take out those lackeys in the back. They do quite a lot of damage if you don't kill them, so just be very mindful of that. Moving on to the final stage against Dofi and all of his friends, I'm going to call them. This is where we're going to pop our specials. We have our, what's his name? Oden special ready to go, so we can get the orb boost with Oden. We are going to take 1 turn here just to try and kill as many units as we possibly can. And that way we can hopefully get some more orbs for Oden, and then we can use our Carrot special to get an attack boost on the next turn. So with Carrot's going to give us an attack boost, Rainbow if our captain is strength, as well as a chain buff multiplier. And then we can use the super typing of Oden, and that way we can guarantee ourselves a 1-0 orb on our Oden, and we can just hit Dofi very, very hard and finish off Heavenly Demon 1. So the final team of the video is a double Snake Man team. Now, most of you guys would have double Snake Man, and he is still very, very good for taking out the Garp Challenge 10-star events. As if you fulfill his super typing, which is very easy to do, he basically has an attack boost and an orb boost built into his kit, which is just very, very handy. With this particular team, I tried to keep it very Straw Hat orientated. And on turn 2, we do get Gloom, so we do have the support of Rayleigh, as well as Whitebeard, to actually remove all the despair that gets inflicted to us on the first turn. Then we can use our Luffy special, and then we can just absolutely decimate the Vacuum Cleaner chick. On to the next stage, we come up against Rebecca. Rebecca has the defense up, as well as paralysis. Now, this is where we're going to use our Jewelry Bonnie, the limited rare recruit Bonnie special. Bonnie's very, very good, as she can actually get her special back by the end of the run. She's only on like a 5-turn cooldown, which is very, very handy. And then with Uso Hachi and the other Snake Man special, we can easily take out Rebecca very, very easily. We did have the support of Sober Mask on our Uso Hachi. That way we just got a little bit of extra attack boost. I don't think it's very necessary, but it does make things a little bit smoother. Moving on to the Dressrosa units, we did use the super typing of Luffy, so we could easily take out as many as possible. Again, on this particular stage, you do just want to try and take out as many as has the low cooldown as possible. Utilize the switchability of Marco and Ace every time you do need it. Every time you do see quick orbs and you switch with Marco and Ace, those orbs are actually going to become beneficial to your team. So it's very, very important that you are switching with him if you do need that damage output. Once you do hit the 4th turn of King Punch, just finish him off with normal attacks, and we can move on to the next stage against Barto. So against Barto, he puts up the 2 turns of barriers and gives us 4 more turns of gloom. So this is where we're going to use our Rare Recruit Law special, the one that actually came out with Luffy. And with the support of a Kainu, we can actually get a 1.5 times attack boost. Now, this team has a little bit of barrier pen. The Law and the Uso Hachi have some. So you can sort of time your taps better than I did. Get a little bit more damage. And then with your back-ended units, finish off Barto on that first turn. But if you don't finish him off on the first turn, don't sweat. He is very easy to kill on that next turn. This team has a lot of pinch healing as well. So you can get a lot of healing back every single turn with your units as well. On to Treble now. Treble has the paralysis mechanic, and with the super typing of Luffy, we can easily take out the units in the back. Then we're going to use one of our Luffy specials, as we are going to have our other Luffy special back by the final turn. And then we can finish off Treble and move into the next stage against Dofi. Against Dofi, we are going to just pop our Luffy special, so that way we can just do a giant board wipe, as well as get a 2.5 times orb boost, as well as a bunch of matching orbs. And then we can use our Marco and Ace special to get a monstrous 2.75 times attack boost and just absolutely destroy Dofi. See you later. So that was the Luffy team. Works very, very well. And I imagine most guys have this unit. Alright, homies, so that's going to wrap up Heavenly Demon 1. Hopefully this video helped you guys out, but as I mentioned at the beginning, if you can just bring a friend to 3, it's going to make life a lot easier for you. But hopefully you can chop and change from the units you saw in today's video to hopefully help you guys take out Heavenly Demon 1 fairly easily. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and build the like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lights!